the answers you've been chasing all your life have been quietly waiting inside you all along. I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBM, we're exploring a powerful book. It is called The Inner Muse. Utopia Awaits, nestled in your palm. It is written by a terrific author. His name is Andreas Sarchosis, and he has penned a thought-provoking guide where ancient wisdom, contemporary science, and spiritual insight converge. This is a conversation, this is a book about stillness, inner truth, and the possibility of creating a more loving and awakened life from within. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Actors Publishing for helping us put him on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Andreas, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Certainly.
Great to have you on the show. Your book begins with a striking idea that the wisdom we seek already may reside within us. Talk to us about what led you to that realization.
I've spent many years, decades, trying to answer the big questions of life. I've searched in different philosophies, different guides, schools, spiritual systems. And in the end, what I found is that we already have the answers within us. Now, the way I speak about truth, I say that the only thing that the thing that matters the most is, does it bring you the result you want? This action you take give you what you want in life? If yes, then this is quote unquote true. And I finally managed to come up with, let's say, a philosophy system, a hidden truth that resides within all of us that actually managed to give me the results that I want in my life. I managed to begin to build not just the life I want to live, but also to change who I am as a character, to become more of the person I want to be. And this is the truth, the wisdom, the guide, I guess, that I wanted to share with everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Talk to the folks at home about what you mean by the inner muse and how readers should understand that voice within.
Yes. So to me, the inner muse is our truth, of love, of wisdom, of intelligence, if I may say, that already lives within us. It's not something reserved for special people or mystics or spiritual groups. It is a part of who we are in all people. I believe that as we go deeper into ourselves, we can begin to discover that we are far more than our surface thoughts, our habits, or just our ordinary identity. There are deeper layers to us, deeper layers of wisdom, intelligence, knowledge, and potential that most people never realize. Even when we think of something as simple as the unconscious mind, we can already see that there is much more that sustain us, that happens beyond our ordinary conscious awareness. Like we consciously struggle to multitask, yet the deeper parts of us, they keep our heart beating, they regulate our breathing, and they coordinate countless processes in the body without even our direct attention. In the same way, I believe there is a deeper inner intelligence within us that is often far more richer and wiser than, and far more capable actually than we imagine. Some spiritual explorers might recognize this by the name of the higher self, though I spend much of the book actually exploring those inner depths of who we are from more than one angle. I have glimpsed only what I believe is just a small part of what we are capable of what is possible within the human being. And, rather than just making grand claims about it, I just prefer to invite readers to explore for themselves with their own experience by reconnecting with their own inner muse, their own inner wisdom.
Yeah, very, very empowering. Also, tremendously interesting about your book is that you bring together ancient esoteric traditions and contemporary science. What drew you to bridge those two worlds?
I believe that not all, but the majority of philosophies of systems actually, because they all try to find the truth, if there is one truth I may say, they all approach it from different ways. And some people find one part, some people find another, but In the end of the day, it's the same truth for everyone.
Mhm.
So when I was doing my own quote unquote research for which was for most of my life, trying to find not just the truth, but a way that can really help people change their lives and actually get the lives they want. Because it's nice to have nice ideas and big claims, but at the end of the day, it's all about, does this spiritual system or guide or whatever, does it help me become the person I want to be? Does it help me get the results I want in my life?
Mhm.
And there have been multiple systems that do that. The ancient Greeks do that with their philosophy, the Stoics, modern philosophers, or system, or even some gurus managed to do this. And they all grasp a bit of truth in one way or another. And the thing to realize that everyone is different. Not every system is the best for everyone. Some people might resonate more with one system, some people might get better results with another, because everyone at the end of the day is different.
Yeah.
And what my book is about, most of it, is finding your own way. I don't want to give people a rigid doctrine or, a truth and be like, okay, this is it now,
Mhm.
go do your thing. It's more of a blueprint guiding readers to discover their own inner truth, what works for them, what gets them the results they want in their life through their own experience.
Yeah, it's very, very effective. In your view, what keeps so many people disconnected from their own inner wisdom?
Oh, multiple things, not just one, but if I could boil it down to one or two things, I would say first is a very important and a very big lack of love and kindness towards ourselves. One of the things that unfortunately we're very good at as a species is to be the harshest judges of ourselves most of the time, even in how we speak to ourselves, in our own thoughts, in our mind. Most of the time, we're much better at creating anxiety to ourselves instead of, approaching ourselves with love. I think love is not just, an emotion. It's the most transformative power we have. It's the power that can really help us reconnect with our own inner muse, our own inner self, the, the very parts of our unconscious mind, our very own character. But it's also what brings meaning to our life. And it's a lot easier nowadays to, go on the social media, scroll, and allow yourself to, be taken away with emotions of fear or anger or anything like that. And that brings us to the second point, that it's much more common to take decisions based on fear, to
Mhm.
take decisions based on being rage baited
Mhm.
or anger or anything like that. And instead, if we just take some time to quiet down and listen to our inner self, find the love within, I think that that would be like the biggest step we can take towards a more meaningful life.
Absolutely. You've kind of touched upon this, but tell us about what role stillness plays in uncovering deeper truths about ourselves. We live in a noisy world, a distracted world. Talk to us about stillness and how it can help us.
One of the things that I have discovered through my own experience, and again, that's something I invite all the readers and the viewers to discover for themselves, is that the deeper parts of our identity, of who we are, this quote unquote deeper intelligence that we have inside, unlike what most people believe, is actually full of love and kindness and patience and growth and understanding
Mhm.
for us, for our ego. But instead, we just learn to ignore it. We ignore our emotions. We ignore how we feel inside. So we never actually create a connection with ourselves, like quite literally. All we know is that, for example, I have a headache, let me take a Tylenol. I don't go find out what actually stressed me that causes me the headache. I don't go out and listen to the messages of my own unconscious mind that tells me, for example, this thing in my life is causing me stress, or I should be doing this instead of that.
Yeah.
So one of the methods that I describe in my book is to learn to quiet down and just listen to the music if I may say, of our own hearts.
Yeah.
And usually it is subtle. It's not something that screams loudly. It's something we have to quiet our mind in order to learn to listen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important to look at the bigger picture and not just uh, address the symptoms, like you said, like taking a Tylenol. You got to find out what is the underlying issue. In the book, you also talk about the higher self. Talk to us about that concept.
Higher self is very much a spiritual concept. I believe there are different layers to who we are, different layers to our identity. Like as I said before, like for example, for the unconscious, which is the most surface part of who we are, uh, its intelligence is so much more, how to put it, vast than our conscious ego.
Mhm.
Who- That once we begin to tap into this part of us, we begin to tap into a lot of more different and deeper potential that we have. Now, personally, I think goes a lot more deeper than most people imagine, both psychologically and spiritually, especially when it comes to the higher self. But I try to speak carefully about that because I think experience is far more important than just making some grand claim about spirituality or how much deeper parts of our identity actually exist that we don't even know or uncover. I would rather encourage people to explore sincerely that and discover that for themselves, find their own inner muse.
Yeah. How do you hope readers change after spending time reading your book?
That is a good question. Um, my hope is that readers, by the end of the book, will come away with the wisdom, the tools, and the inner orientation, if I may say, that will allow them to begin creating the life they truly want to live. I'm talking about a life that's shaped a lot more by law, clarity, and the inner wisdom, the inner truth, the inner guidance, if I may say, instead of fear or confusion. I hope they can begin to understand that love is not just an emotion, but it's something deeply transformative that we can use. Perhaps even the most powerful force we have that can align us with life. And I also hope that through love they will be a lot more open to the richness within themselves and to the deeper and often hidden, if I say, dimensions of their own being. Because I believe that when we truly reconnect with the deeper parts of ourselves, life can become a lot more meaningful, a lot
Mm.
more beautiful, and a lot more full of possibility and happiness and joy.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I think your book will make people become more enlightened, more self-aware, and will find their own utopia, of course, their joy and their love. Before we leave you today, what's next for you? Working on another book? Tell us what's next in store for you.
Oh my God. I am working on another book, but I'm just I've only written the first chapter, so I still have a lot more to go in the future. Um, I also think, how to put it, there are a lot more, there are a lot of important things to write about, and mostly it's about being practical.
Mhm.
Practical transformation can really help people change their life.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping at some point because I can put everything I know, or everything I can help people. Maybe it would be a better way to say it in some website perhaps, because it's much easier for people now to just access things through the internet instead of reading a book.
Wonderful, wonderful. Looking forward to it. The name of the book we've been exploring today is called The Inner Muse. Utopia awaits nestled in your palm. It is a reflective and uplifting exploration of inner wisdom, spiritual awakening, and the loving voice within that can guide us toward deeper truth and a more meaningful life. Andreas, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate your time, your insight, your talent, and the wonderful work you've done on this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.